Oh, I love this section. It's called Defending the First Series, where we expose the enemies of the First Amendment, free expression, and free thought. The latest target of campus censorship and the epidemic there is renowned history professor emeritus Burt Folsom of Hillsdale College. An approval committee at Davidson College in North Carolina tried to ban him from delivering a lecture on campus. The committee's excuse? Well, they claimed the lecture would not be academic enough. Let's bring in Spencer Brown. He's the spokesman for the group that invited the professor to speak, Young Americans for Freedom. We have other stories to get to as well. They ultimately, Spencer, allowed him to speak on campus, but not at that particular venue, which is bigger, and they put him off to the side somewhere, and they said, well, you can speak over here, the unwashed professor. What's going on?
Yeah, that's exactly right, and I don't think it's any secret to you or your viewers that there's a real crisis in ideological diversity on college campuses. But what surprises us continually is the excuses that liberal administrators use in order to shut these speakers down. So here we have Davidson College telling us that Burt Folsom, who's at one point had the #1 best-selling history book in the country, is not academic enough to speak on the main part of their campus. It's just ridiculous.
Well, it's a fraud. And there's another hilarious story. Campus Reform went out and they decided to interview students about sending troops to the border and immigration and so forth. Let's watch.
When President Obama did it, I felt that there was, I suppose, different coverage as to what the intentions were.
Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
On who can be here or not, basically.
Yeah.
At a border, I think most people would say.
Yeah, well, the students didn't know that President Obama had actually sent troops to the border. And so they're like, well, when he did it, What is your take on the lack of just basic understanding of whether it's the Constitution or just basic recent American history? It is a constant demonization of Trump or the propaganda machine on college campuses for like 50 grand a year, a lot of these places.
Yeah, well, that's the real tragic part, is these are students who are going to school allegedly to get an education, become well-rounded, and instead they're not learning critical thinking skills, they're not learning how to defend their ideas, they're just being fed this pablum of leftist ideology. And so what you see here is these students who don't know why they may support or oppose this policy. All they know is if Trump supports it, it must be bad. Whereas if you had asked it the other way around, if Obama had supported it, they'd say it was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, so that was at UC Santa Barbara. And so, but what you didn't show in this video is before, they didn't know that Obama sent the troops to the border. So they kind of like had to back into that. Oh, well, when he did it, it was necessary. It's just, I mean, it's classic. This is classic uninformed, God bless them, uninformed college students who learn it for the first time from some radical professor, radical history professor. Then at GW University, right nearby where we are, the Democrats, some of the college Democrats are not participating in some type of bipartisan discussion summit last week. They don't even want to be bipartisan.
Well, it looks like basically the leftists are showing their true colors, and that is they don't want a dialogue. They don't want the free and open exchange of ideas, because they know when that happens, the best ideas rise to the top, and the flawed ideas, the left's ideas, will fall off. And so what you see here is basically their goal is to allow a situation only where leftist ideas are heard, because they know when conservative policies and solutions are offered, those are going to be the ones that students pick. Right, they don't have a choice.
They're petrified of a debate. I've never seen anything like it. They are the pusillanimous, they're petrified. And they, by the way, they said some members of the current executive board have hesitations about participating in events with conservative orgs.
They're scared.
Petrified. Balk. That's all I'll say. Spencer, great to see you. Thanks for the update.